Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. How are you all doing? Let's talk about movement in the cruiserweight division. Unlike the heavyweights, the cruiserweights are sort of taking shape with a few challenges here and there, and no unifications yet, but there's some half decent fights being made. And Chris Billam-Smith, thank goodness, will not be rematching the former champion Lawrence Okoli, the WBO cruiserweight champ. That's who Billam-Smith is. He won it from Okoli. There was a rematch clause, and that is not going to be activated, thank goodness, because that was a bizarre, although quite eventful fight. I mean, there was a lot going on. It just wasn't boxing, a lot of wrestling, a lot of mauling, and points being taken off. But so it was kind of curious. It was a little curio of a fight, but I'm glad there's no rematch. Instead, Billam-Smith will fight Mateusz Masternak of Poland. Now, this is an okay voluntary defence, because Masternak hasn't been beaten since 2018 when he lost to Uriel Dorticos. That was a 12-round decision, and he lost comfortable. It wasn't one-sided entirely, but if I remember rightly, Dorticos deserved to win. I'm doing it on memory. But since then, Masternak hasn't lost, and in fact he's beaten a couple of undefeated people. He beat Adam Balski, and in his last fight he beat an Australian called Jason Wheatley or something like that. I can't remember the guy's name entirely, but it was a wide decision, and it was in Poland. And in fact, he was made mandatory. This is Masternak, who has never held a title. I think he held the WBA interim title or secondary title, whatever the hell it's called. But he has been EBU champ. And he's had a pretty good career. He turned pro in 2006, a long time ago, of course. And he's 36 now, 6'1", big lump. Tough guys, those Poles. He's got 47 wins with 31 KOs and 5 defeats with 1 stoppage. And I don't think there are any draws. No, there aren't any draws, I don't think. But anyway, I'm digressing. He was made mandatory initially for OPETAIA, and there was a purse bid. I think he pulled out of that and went to Billam-Smith instead. Maybe they offered him more money. I don't know. But that's a decent enough voluntary defence. Billam-Smith has fought his heart out against Okoli. I was watching, I think it was G-Man's video, one of G-Man's videos, and he said that Eddie Hearn missed a trick with not retaining the services of Billam-Smith. Because Hearn, when he was at Sky, was always big on going to various regions in the UK and building up a fan base and having lots of fights there. Now that he's an international promoter, he doesn't do that in Britain. He'll have fights in Britain, and he might go to the most appealing places, financially appealing, but he won't invest and build up fan bases in these sort of lesser. I mean, I don't mean this insultingly, but the sort of lesser boxing lights of Britain, like Portsmouth, not Portsmouth, Bournemouth, excuse me. Which is not a fight town, not really. But Billam-Smith is making it one, and I think Ben Shalom, even though he's lumbered with Okoli, and Joshua Buatsi didn't look great in his first fight for Sky, even though he's coming off the back of that dreadful sort of Fraser Clark, Fabio Wardley purse bid farce. The one thing that Shalom has got going for him is that he has retained the services of Billam-Smith, and I think actually. Shalom talked about building Okoli into the face of Sky boxing. Even though he's 32, I think Chris Billam-Smith could end up doing that. I think he's very charismatic. He's not someone who runs off at the lips. He's a relatively good-looking guy, and he's a polite guy, and he's marketable. Okay, he may not be the most thrilling man, but he comes across as being thoroughly decent, a good family guy, and I reckon he could become a big star in Britain. I mean, a very big star. And Masternak will do enough. I don't, not to beat him. I don't think he'll beat him, but he'll come and he'll give him some rounds, and they'll sell out the Vitality Stadium again, and it'll be another great feather in the cap for Chris Billam-Smith. A first defence. Other cruiserweight news is that I think now that Masternak pulled out of the OPETAIA fight, proposed purse bid, the one who's taken his place is none other than Richard RIAKPORHE, who's going after OPETAIA, and I think he's the mandatory. He's been made mandatory. and I think there are purse bids currently going on. July the 14th has been the cut-off date for the purse bids, but it'll be interesting to see whether Shalom breaks the bank to get that fight in Britain. Otherwise, RIAKPORHE better get his passport out because he's going to New Zealand, or maybe Oz, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, there's some good activity in the cruiserweights. And I did also read, getting back to Okoli, that he might be moving up, which I presume means heavyweight, surely not bridgerweight. I don't know if that's true or not, but he didn't look great. I mean, he got floored, didn't he, a couple of times by BILLAM-SMITH. Was it 3 times? I think a couple of them might have been a bit questionable, but one of them, the big left hook in the first knockdown, that was definitely a knockdown. So I don't know. Was getting down to cruiserweight the result? Did that weaken his chin, or going up to bridgerweight or heavyweight? Would that strengthen his resolve? Sometimes you do put on a little bit of punch resistance by moving up and letting your body get comfortable and get fitter, get to its optimum weight. I don't know, but as a heavyweight, I don't think Okoli's got a chance in hell. I think he'll get smashed to bits. If I was him and he can still make cruiser, I'd stay there and let the dust settle and then make another run for a belt or two. But there's some good stuff in the cruiserweight division going on. Perhaps the heavyweights might want to have a look and see what these guys are doing, getting good matchups and actually fighting rather than talking. So yeah, comments below as normal, I'll answer them. Thanks for your time. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and of course, as always, we'll speak again soon. Bye for now.